Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of OverVoice Season 3. Today I'm joined by the lovely Beth Pierce. Beth, would you like to introduce yourself, my friend?
Yeah, hi, I'm Beth Pierce. I am an actress in film, voiceover, and theater. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. I'm excited to have you on. But yeah, my first question for you, Beth, is what's your voice acting journey been like so far and what got
Yeah.
you into it?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. So I started voice acting when I was 16, but I started acting in general when I was like 8 in like school production of a musical. And I loved like theater. And so I kept doing that. And when I was 16, I was like, wait a minute, maybe I should do voice acting as well because I've always wanted to do it. And my sister really encouraged me. So I went ahead and I was like, okay. I literally bought a mic and then I started auditioning on the floor of my bedroom.
Hell yeah.
and and then that year I got into a voiceover competition. It was Get Mic'd Ultimate VO Survivor, which was really
Oh
cool.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And I was like the youngest person on it, which was
Hell yeah.
crazy.
That's
But
insane.
yeah, I it was really interesting because I got to like be up against like professional people and I was like just like what is happening? So I did that and then ever since I finished I finished high school and now I'm in college, so
Hell yeah.
I'm going to school for acting and everything, but
Nice.
I've things are looking up, so I'm
Hell
excited.
yeah. I'm excited. That's awesome. Which
Yeah.
musical was it when you started out when you were 8?
Oh, it was Beauty and the Beast, and I was the little teacup Chip.
Oh, hell
Um,
yeah. Let's go.
yeah. No, I was like the only fourth grader to get a role like that was like not shared with the other like people.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
I was like super proud of myself, and
Hell yeah.
everyone
You
was
should
mad
be.
at me.
Everyone's mad at you. Jesus.
Yeah, they were all like, why did she get a role? Like da 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 da. And
Oh,
I,
right, right.
yeah.
That sounds like fourth grade plays, to be
Oh
honest.
yes. Oh
Even
yes.
even in
And
high
it,
school, it's like, why did this person get the role? I
oh
hate
my
her.
gosh. It's still like that, even in like college.
Damn. Oh
I
yeah, I
know.
guess to some extent. I can say because I went to college for acting school actually. I graduated this year, but I finished last year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. You're kind of like in the same path that I was. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, you mentioned like being the youngest in that competition, but I think you might be the youngest that person I've had on this interview series, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. Oh my gosh.
Because like,
Yeah.
because you're like what 2005? I don't know.
2004. So I'm
2004,
19.
2004. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
2002. Come on.
Come on. Okay. My sister's 2002. So
Hey, come on.
let's
Yes.
go.
Big up the Y2K.
Yeah.
Let's go. But yeah, because you mentioned you had a background in acting for stage and screen, and then you made your way to voiceover. But yeah, as someone who also does all three, I'm just curious, like what kind of things have you kind of like picked up from all those three, which you can kind of implement into all those three?
Yeah. So I've always kind of like known that like, okay, like I don't know why, but I've always like been able to really connect to characters and like put them outside of me. So like they're not me. They're just a character. And that's something I still do because I think it's honestly easier and like emotionally better. It doesn't drain you as much. Then like you sort of disconnect yourself from them. And so I've been doing that even in voiceover if it's a very like emotional scene or something. And on film, like there's been like a ton of different like characters I've done, especially this year in school. But I really try to like they're a little part of me, but they're also like they're separate. So I like to keep it that way because I still have me and like I can be grounded after a scene, but I'm also they're going through something else, which I think is good. In theater, I learned so much like by just growing up in it. Like I learned how to project my voice, which is good for,
Oh yeah.
everything. I learned how to honestly just make like real human connections with people as a awkward teenager. I was like growing up and trying to figure out, oh my gosh, how do I interact with people? And doing that, like doing shows was really helpful. So I think there's honestly like a tons of things that I even use like some of them in my real life to like just help me be a human.
Yeah, for real. It's good to be human. I will say.
Yes. Yes.
But but yeah, um you mentioned before like how like you kind of disconnect from the characters a little bit just to make sure like because there are some characters out there where they go through like so much
Yes.
turmoil
Yes.
that like being like trying to being like too attached can actually be like self-destructive in the
Yeah.
moment, so like it's really interesting that you mentioned that because for me it's I get really attached to my characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I disconnect, it takes for me personally it takes a little longer because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we just had a journey. Let's go to bed
Yeah.
and then just come
It, it's
back.
so it's so hard too because you get to know them and love them, and a lot of people, I think, just like who don't do acting kind of associate people with their characters. They're like, oh, you're that character. Like even in theater, the little
Mm.
kids used to like call me by my role. And like they would be like, I was in Frozen, and they would be like, Anna, and I'm like, I'm Beth. I'm not Anna. But it was, so it's kind of, similar, like especially in voice acting, and like a lot of people will like just associate people with their characters, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but we're not our characters, but also they're a part of us. But I think they go through a lot,
Yeah.
sometimes way more than we experience in real life. So it's I think it's important to just like give them a little pat on the head
Yeah, for
and be
real.
like, it's okay.
I find it really interesting because I'm for like stage and screen, I think it's I think for me, like as an audience member, I think it might be easier to perceive them as their characters because they're actually physically living out that sort of thing.
Yeah,
For voice, I always found it confusing because like sometimes the voice actors look nothing like their characters at all. I'm like,
exactly.
it's so
No,
interesting. Yeah.
it's so weird. Like, f- for example, like my dad, he watches anime with me sometimes, which is
Oh yeah,
awesome.
that's so cool. Hell
And
yeah.
we got him to watch Attack on Titan, and
Mm.
we watched the English dub, and he was like totally pictured like Aaron's voice actor completely different. And we met Bryce Pavenbrook in person, and he was like, "That's Aaron? That's that guy?" And he was so confused. Like, and it was the funniest thing because like it is weird like hearing a voice and then seeing a face, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. How did that
It's so
come out of
funny.
that?
He said that to his face. That's insane.
He was like flabbergasted to
I would
like
imagine. Yeah.
he talked with Bryce for a long time too.
At least it was a positive experience, I hope.
Yes, yeah.
It wasn't like, that's Aaron Yeager. Boo. He sucks. I
Boo.
hate him.
Well, my dad doesn't like Aaron, but he was
Oh.
super nice to Bryce.
Okay,
So
that's good. Did he finish all
so
of Attack on Titan or is he like kind of catching up
he
still?
did. He did.
Oh, he's done.
So
Okay, you know what? That makes sense. Like, if he didn't like
yeah.
Aaron at the start, he's not gonna like him later on.
He didn't really like him at the start either. And I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, my
Wait
buddy.
until he finds out.
Oh man, like my dad, he read the manga of Attack on Titan, but he'll never like watch anime. It's really
Oh
weird.
wow.
He reads manga, but he'll never make it to anime. I think he just doesn't have time, which is fair enough. He's a reader.
That actually makes sense. I think manga's pretty fast to read, so
Yeah, I get it.
but
Like for I
sometimes
think
it's harder
it's what I
to understand.
yeah, it's what I did for One Piece. Like I watched all the anime up until like
Oh my gosh.
I think up to like Dressrosa, and then from there, because like this was when it was airing at the time. Then I don't remember which point specifically. It was like in the middle of Whole Cake Island because there was like a
Oh my
break because
gosh.
like there was like a Luffy and Sanjay special which took like a few weeks to come out. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna read the manga, and that would took way faster. That was so much faster. I got caught
Yeah.
up so easily. So if you're starting One Piece, I totally recommend reading the manga. But
Honestly, I should
Yeah.
probably do that because One Piece is long.
Are you into One Piece already, or are you like far
I
along?
like literally just started it with my sister, and we
Oh
are
yeah.
like so nervous because it's so long. And we're like,
Mm.
we got this though, because we really want to watch it.
It's worth it though. What arc are you up to at the moment?
We like we haven't, I don't even remember what episode we on. We're like really early on so
Oh yeah,
far.
like what's the latest events that happened?
Oh, I don't even remember. It was like a couple months ago. Oh no. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to like check and then like tell you later.
Now, fair enough. I started watching the live action One Piece last year, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really interesting to watch it and come back to it because like it's been so long since I saw like the first few episodes of One Piece, and it's like
Yeah.
it's so crazy. It's like, oh wow, I forgot this character existed and that they looks like this. And it's yeah, it's so weird, but like it was really well made. So if you ever watched the live action One Piece, oh man, it's pretty solid. I
I've
quite
heard
enjoyed it.
some good things about it, so
Yeah, and
that's pretty good.
I saw like season two has like some castings that are already, and like I think it'll do pretty
Ooh,
well. So I'm
that's
really excited.
exciting. We love when it's a good live action. We
Oh
love a good
hell
live.
yeah! Like those don't happen often, Like
I know. Those
apart
do not,
apart from
not
like
even, yeah.
yeah, it's so oh man, there's so many bad live action anime
Oh my gosh.
adaptations.
It's traumatizing.
I swear like the only good one was like before One Piece was I don't know, like this. I think a lot of people will disagree with me here, but honestly, like the 2007 Speed Racer, honestly, I thought that was actually
I
pretty
haven't
good.
seen that. Well, I'll have to watch it and then I'll give you my opinion.
Okay, I'll give you a warning. This movie was made in 2007. It released in
Mm.
2007, so it's quite dated. It doesn't hold
Well,
up as well as it should. But they make the use of like what you were allowed to get away with at the time because since it's a
yeah.
2007 movie, I think it was either M or PG. I think it was PG, but it was like they had to, like in the time, like the to match the ratings. It's like they get to have like one swear word, and like that's
Yeah, yeah.
for like the whole movie, and like the way they utilize that one swear word that they use in Speed Racer is like it's unmatched, it's unparalleled.
Well, now
Like,
I'm so excited. Like,
oh man, it hits you out of nowhere. Because
oh
I
my God.
rewatched it recently. It's like, whoa, I
You're like,
forget.
what did they say?
I'm like, I don't remember this. Maybe they censored it in the New Zealand version, but like, I don't know. But there's so much stuff that was censored in New Zealand. Like fucking Total Drama Islands, like that got
Really?
censored. Yeah, that got so censored in New Zealand. And I watched it all on Netflix recently. And it's like there's so much that they cut out. It's like but you know what? I get why they did, but like
Yeah.
wow, I missed out so much.
That's crazy. That's like when I was younger and my mom was like, you can't watch SpongeBob because it's inappropriate. And which like didn't make any sense because we were watching like Ren and Stimpy.
What? How are you saying
Yeah.
SpongeBob's
I
inappropriate when you watch Red and
I
Stimpy first?
I don't know.
That's
My
insane.
mom, she, but my dad was like, just watch SpongeBob. And then we
Yeah.
watched it and it was like fine. But like I've heard some weird like censoring things. Like I've heard in like Pokemon, they like have cut episodes. Like there was an episode
Yeah.
of Pokemon where like they like have guns and they're pointing it at Ash or something.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
right.
and I was like, I want to see this, but it's like banned. I'm like, okay.
There's one episode which I understand why it got banned. It's one of the Porygon episodes, and it's because like it gave a lot of people seizures when it aired on
Oh yeah,
TV,
I heard about that.
like of the
And that,
epilepsy. So it's like, you know what, that's actually
mhm.
understandable.
Yeah, that
That can
would
be
make
cut.
sense. That makes sense because it's like, oh, yeah, oops. But like
Yeah.
some of the other ones, I'm like, why did they
Honestly,
have that in the first place though?
it I don't really mind because Pokemon's just as long as One Piece, if not longer. So
Oh
like, if
yeah.
some
Yeah.
episodes get cut, I'm perfectly
You
fine
know what?
with not.
The anime is like because my sister plays the games and she like
Yeah,
grew up with it. So she like knows all the lore and everything. She'll tell me and she's like, that doesn't make any sense because it's like different in the anime, I think.
yeah.
So I don't know.
It's so
So
different. Like I've played all the Pokemon games, but I'll never catch up with the anime. I think I just stopped around like I watched it from Gen 1 to Gen 4, and now there's like 9 generations. There's like now
Yeah,
now it's like I'm not catching up. I'm
they have
sorry.
so many. I'm like, I can't keep up.
Yeah, I wish I could, but I'll play the games. I'll always play that, so I'll be in the loop somewhat. But I
Yes, the games are good. So
yeah,
I love,
are you excited for ZA?
I am.
Hell yeah.
I'm very excited for any game like of Pokemon. I love it. I don't know, it's just so cool.
Actually, what was your first Pokemon game?
I played Sun and Moon.
Sun and
So
Moon
I
was your first.
yeah,
Oh my god.
I started later because well, technically it was like black and white too, but I
Yeah.
never played it like fully. I was like a kid. So I was just like,
Wow.
yeah.
I started.
But
I think I started just a tiny bit earlier than you because I started with Pokemon X. So that was 2013.
yeah.
And that was the Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and then it was Sun and Moon. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like
My
one. I
sister's
was
like
literally one gen behind you. That's insane.
my sister's like she started I think Gen 4. Like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so like she's like she has all the games, like all of them, and she keeps them all because they're
Oh,
worth a
that's good.
lot of money now. So
Yeah, they're hard to find, but like having like the
yeah.
cases and stuff. I still have like my old like 3DS.
Oh
But
yeah.
I replayed Omega Ruby during lockdown,
Hmm.
then COVID, but for Pokemon X, like it wasn't working anymore. For some reason, the it just didn't work, and like it wouldn't let me start a new game, and it was really sad. And
That stinks.
I really wanted to replay Pokemon X because I had a lot of good
I know.
memories. But I was like,
I
damn, okay,
know. You're
it's
like,
alright,
okay, well,
fine,
whatever.
whatever. I'll just play
I
Smash Bros on the Switch. It's fine.
I that's I mean the alternatives.
Exactly. But yeah, how long have you been doing voiceover for, Biff?
Yeah, so I technically now it's been only 3 years, which
Hey,
is which is nice, but I've kind of been off and on with like school and everything because I
that's
needed to
understandable, man. Yeah,
graduate and like get my high school degree or whatever.
yeah.
But I've really been, taking classes and all this stuff for like, a couple of years. So it's been like probably the most exciting like
Yes, that's
years
good.
of my life since. So
Hell yeah. As someone who balances voiceover in school for like the longest time,
yes.
it is very daunting sometimes. But I guess my piece of advice is just like not to try to compare yourself with others because everyone's
Yes.
busy. So just keep going, keep it on the back
Yeah.
burner for a little bit because put studies first, I guess. Whatever's prioritize what's in front of you, I guess. But honestly, you've got time, so like
Yeah.
don't even worry, man. You already
That's
got. I was gonna ask, are you the youngest person to have a studio bridge as well? That's insane.
I have no clue. I'm actually very lucky because it's like a long story about how I got it. And people ask me all the time, how'd you even get that? And it's complicated, but I didn't pay for it and my parents didn't pay for it. We don't have that kind of money. So
Oh wow, it was
it
gifted.
was yeah, it was through like a situational thing that happened.
I
So
see. Yeah.
it's not really that happy. So but it's here. So
Hell yeah. Well, at least you got something really cool out of it. That's
yeah.
pretty awesome.
No, it's super cool because my parents were like the biggest advocates for it, which is like really, really awesome because they more than anyone else like believe in me and they're like, we're gonna invest in this because we know you're good. And to have them like backing me up
Oh,
is really cool
that's really
because
sweet, man.
I know it's like, oh, well, now I feel very like supported and like
Hell
I
yeah.
was talking to my dad today and he was just like, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm like,
Aw, that's so
thank
sweet.
you.
Believe should be. You're doing amazing stuff. So,
Oh,
just keep
thank
going, man.
you. You are
Um,
too. You are
oh,
too.
thank you. I ended up getting this in May of this year. I it was a bit of a long process as well. It
Yes.
was I won't go too deep into it, but like I don't know if you knew about this, but I got into a car crash the month before,
Oh
and
no.
I was in the hospital, I was reflecting. I was like, damn,
Mhm.
what do I really want?
Yeah.
So like that was like a life or death. You know what? We're going all out. We're getting this.
Yep.
I'm not waiting 10
No,
years, you know. So
exactly. Like I think it's so important to really just like I think go for it even like despite, anything that's happened. I think it's really important to really, just rip off the band-aid because I
yeah.
think life is too short and life is crazy and things
Oh yeah.
happen all the time. And I think it's really important to just be like, you know what? I'm just going to live it to the fullest and we're going
Yeah.
to do these things that I want to do because it's too short to be worried about like all of the craziness. Like,
It's really interesting because like when you follow what you want to do, everything kind of just falls into place randomly.
yes,
It's like I've been
yes.
doing this for like this is my 7th year, so wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's insane. I feel old. Um, but but yeah, genuinely things do fall into place in time. You just never know when it happens, you know.
Exactly.
But there's
That's
nothing
what
wrong.
I always say.
There's nothing wrong with being financially responsible though. But just follow your
Yes.
dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I always say is like everything happens for a reason. And I think like the right doors will open when they need to. And especially if it's like booking a role or, maybe you got a new job or even just like in life in general, like anything. Like I think things happen when they need to because it's for you to grow. And I think that's how I like to think about
Hell
it.
yeah, that's a really good way to. That's a really good outlook on life. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I try.
Hell yeah. You mentioned before that of like Ren and Stimpy and Pokemon, they had SpongeBob, but like, what are like the cartoons and like video games that kind of inspired you to take up voiceover? If you had like those kind of things
Yeah.
that to get you into it.
Yeah. So I actually, I mean, Pokemon was a huge thing because I kind of just grew up like watching it on like, Saturday mornings and like
Yeah.
back when they had all that. Like I'm not that like, I'm not that young, guys, but like I still experience some things, but I would say definitely for me like a turning point in just like my life in general through watching something was I when I saw Frozen in the
Oh,
theaters
yeah.
because I was like the perfect age. I was literally 8 years old and I was like turning 9 in a couple of like weeks when it came out and I remember seeing, Anna and like her older sister Elsa, and I'm a younger sibling, and I'm like awkward and falling on my face all the time, and and so I really like related to her, and I remember like when I remember it so vividly of like first time in forever is playing in the theater, and I just like saw myself in her on screen, and that was the first moment when I was like I want to do that. I don't know what that is, but I kind of want to do that. And it was kind of hard to describe, especially when you're so young. You're like, what is that thing? I want that. And I think I've kind of, followed that passion in a different like ways. But I think Frozen definitely is a huge influence on me. And I don't know. I think it would be really cool to be in like something Disney because I grew up
Oh yeah.
loving Disney. So, Disney, if you're out there,
They're definitely out there for sure.
they're definitely out there. But
I'm sure I'm sure it's a matter of time. I
I've
reckon
always like,
we'll see. Yeah.
yeah, I've always wanted to be like a Disney princess and like that, that's like every little girl's dream. But I was like, now how do I actually do that?
Yeah, for
And
real.
so like like I became serious about it. And I think another thing that really influenced me was actually when I started watching anime, which like officially I would say would like
Yeah.
2019-ish, like officially. And I like sat down and I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is
Oh
like
hell yeah. Come on.
it's like a hard like you would think is that was like one of your like first anime you probably ran away and I didn't. I loved it. And because my sister
Yes.
was obsessed with it and I was like, you know what, let's watch it. And
Oh man,
I
I love JoJo so much.
love
It's
JoJo's.
my favorite. It's my personal favorite as well.
Oh
So
my god, like if I could be in any part of JoJo. Like, I know
Oh
there's not
man,
a lot left, but if
it's quite a
they're,
lot. Like it's quite a lot. We got Steel Ball Run, we've
yeah.
got JoJolion, Part Nine's going on right now.
So
It's like we've got.
hopefully, like,
I'm praying, man. Steel Ball Run Part Eight, Beg
I
Zoom,
know,
please take
I know,
us.
please. Like the dream, that's the dream right there. Cause like, oh my gosh, I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And that was a huge influence on me because I was like, I really like the performances in it. And
Yeah,
like both the Japanese and like the English dubs, like I was just
hell
like,
yeah.
oh,
I'm really glad you watched both sub and dub. I watched
oh
both as
yeah.
well.
I like I've watched it multiple times
Oh my
and
god,
like just
same.
all the way through. It's so good. Okay, what's your favorite part? I have a
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Wow. All right.
I'm
Like,
coming at you with the questions.
oh, all right. Okay. Um, in the manga, I think Part Seven's
Ooh,
definitely my favorite. It's not animated yet, but
yes.
Part Seven's definitely my favorite. Oh my god, it's so good.
That will be
But
so cool when it's animated.
but but what's been animated so far? It's very hard to pick, but I'm gonna say Part Five is probably my favorite.
Yes, I love part 5. Part five's my favorite.
Like the
It's
dub especially. I love the dub.
the
They
dub
nailed
of
it.
that, they
Perfect.
like every single character is exactly how I wanted them to be. Like
Yeah.
I remember watching it when it was like premiering on Toonami and like I would stay up at like 2 a.m. with my sister to hear like the reveals of the new voices and like
Yes. Oh my god.
and
Yes.
and I like the amount of times I woke up my parents because I was screaming at 2 a.m. because I was so excited. Like I can't even count how many times that happened. Like I remember when they revealed like Doppio and like
Yeah.
Griffin Burns was Doppio and I was like, who is that voice? Who you're so good. Like I literally screamed and fell on the floor.
Oh my god. I remember seeing like the announcement like for like the dub cast. I saw Ray
Yeah.
Chase as Bucciarati. I'm like, oh hell yeah, come
Ray
on.
Chase is I met him in person at a con and
Oh
he's like
nice. What's he like?
he is the sweetest. Like he oh my gosh. So I I was super nervous to meet him because I was like he voices Bucciolotti and like that's one of my favorite characters. So but I came up to him and I was like, "Hi." And he was so sweet and he talked about like how he like wishes me good luck in college and all this
Aw,
stuff. And
that's
then
so nice.
he really like took time to talk to me and he was like, "You're gonna go far and we're gonna work together one day." And I was
Aw,
like,
that's so sweet.
uh, and then he like leaned in and he was like, "Now you're part of the familia." And I was like, Bruno Bucciolotti said I'm a part of the familia, so I win. Everyone else,
Yeah, you've
like,
won. You've won, man. You've
and then
won.
then I was like, because I love the name changes of the stands.
Oh hell,
So
you love
I
the
was like,
localization names. Let's
they're
go.
so funny. They're so funny. I can't get enough of like Zipper Man. So I was like, you gotta like I was like, can you say Zipper Man for me? Just like and he screamed it and like the whole area was like, what was
That's
that? It's like the
that's awesome.
yeah, he's incredible. And he's actually one of my biggest like inspirations just because he's like so nice and like I just uh and
Hell
he's
yeah.
also in Genshin and I love him in
True.
Genshin. So
He's the Oratrice mechanique than at least Caramel
yes.
guy. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The
I
iconic.
iconic. It actually is. It trended for like a long time last
I
year.
know. And like that was so funny.
Yeah. It's really funny because I with Ray Chase, I feel like he's someone that can make anything cool. Because because I saw
Yeah.
the sub of Gonna Win, I was like, okay, how the hell are they gonna pull off Zipperman in the dub? And he makes
Yeah.
it sound cool. And like I
He
think
does.
and like he made Cyclops cool in X-Men 97. He could just make anyone cool. I have more respect for Cyclops. Like I used to hate
I know.
Cyclops.
And
But
like
like,
now he's
yeah.
cool because of Ray Chase. Ray Chase
Yeah.
is just
Red
super cool.
he makes everything cool. It's I love it. Like I remember seeing like a compilation of like Bucciarati saying Zipperman in the dub. I saw like a comment, and the comment was like, "It sounds like he's saying Superman," and like, oh no, I kind of hear it now.
Superman.
He's like
Oh
Superman.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's this. Yeah,
He
I hear it too.
you gotta find the compilation and you gotta hear it. It just sounds so. It's just the
After
funniest shit.
hearing it, you're just like, Superman?
Superman. I my favorite performance of part 5 is probably Kellen Goff as Diavolo.
Oh my gosh, he's
He he
amazing.
went above and beyond. I remember when the last episode finally aired out, he wrote like a whole character essay on Twitter about how his choices of Diavolo, and it makes so much sense, and I love it. Oh man.
He's insane. Like, I I've been I saw him like at a con, but I didn't like meet him, but he was like on a panel and we were like locking eyes in the front row multiple times. Like we were just like laughing at he was probably laughing at the faces I make because I'm very expressive.
Oh yeah.
and he's so cool. Like he was talking about his characters and I'm just like I just have so much respect for so many people like him. Like he's just
He's a nice guy.
I,
I love him.
every time I watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie now, I'm like, that's him. He's Foxy.
He's Foxy. I
Yeah.
because like he announced that so late because of the strikes that were going on at the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, I never would have clocked that was him doing the dum diddly dum dums.
No. I was like, that's him? I literally like was like, okay, he wins. He wins at life.
Yep, he's one. Like he's Freddy and Ace Foxy, so like
Yes.
that's pretty good.
He's got insane range
I
too.
love he's like he's my he like how Ray Chase is your guy, Kellen Goff's my guy.
Yes.
His range inspires me to have like a better range and like put like in a weird way have more effort if that makes sense because
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
way he has like so much he puts his all into it. It's so cool. I love it.
Yeah. I like gush over so many voice actors. Like oh my gosh, I love them so much.
It's actually really funny because Alex Lee, he's in part 5. He's Zucchero. But he never talks
Mhm.
about in being Zucchero because he's also what's his name? Uh what's his name from Demon Slayer? He's the yellow haired one.
Zenitsu.
Yeah, he's Zenitsu, he's Lou from
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6, he's the guy from Solo Leveling and like
He's
other
so
stuff.
cool too.
But like he never talks about Zucchero. I'm like, bro, if I was in JoJo, I'd be talking about Zucchero all the goddamn time.
I know. That's yeah. There's so many people where I'm like, that was you? Like I recently found out that um Alejandro Saab was in part 5. And
Yeah,
I
he
was
was
like,
Saleh. Yeah.
he was? Yeah. And I was like, my man, I love him so much. Like he's also one of like a huge inspiration for me. And I'm just like, that was him.
That was like the first instance of like, oh wait a second, that's Kagi Films because I didn't know he was in anime before
Yeah.
Saleh. But I was like, oh, you've been doing this for
Yeah.
years. Okay. All right,
Hmm.
that makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
he's amazing. Like I it's my dream to like meet that guy. He's
Hell
so
yeah.
cool.
He's a cool dude. But
Yeah.
I gotta ask, what's your favorite stand and what's your favorite localization then?
Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay. So, favorite stand. Ooh. I feel like it's kind of funny because we were just but I would have to say Sticky Fingers because
Yeah.
he's just so cool. And but my favorite localization name is definitely I always watch this video. It's like JoJo localization tier list
Oh
where
yeah,
like these
same. Yes, I
friends.
know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
And the one that kills me is Flaccid Pancake is really
Pancake.
good. Yeah. And then what is it? Reasonable acts done wait, no, is it like
Oh, filthy acts at a reasonable
yeah,
price.
filthy. Yeah. I was like, what is that one? That one is funny. Or
I
Blueford is
Blueford.
definitely that one's
Oh,
just funny too, because that's
also
Tony Oliver. Yeah.
Dono Bang. Let's go.
Dono Bang. I love that. Like it's I really need to rewatch the dubs to be like, that's the funny one.
I was so disappointed when Limp Bizkit wasn't called Flaccid Pancake in the dub.
I know.
they changed it to Limp Bizkit, which I guess makes sense to match like the mouth flaps, right? But like
Yeah.
I was holding on to hope that they would call it flaccid pancakes though.
Like flaccid pancake is like I think about it almost every day.
Exactly, because like because I'm also a huge fan of like the band Limp Bizkit as well. So like it's
Yeah.
just so funny to me.
It's like
Um,
flaccid pancake because pancakes aren't already flaccid.
like what other words do you have for limp? And okay, you can
Yeah.
replace biscuit with literally anything else, but like you could have changed the wording of biscuit, but no, you
Yeah.
went like completely opposite.
You they did pancake. Honestly, I thank them for it. It
Yeah,
makes me
I love it.
smile.
I'm a bit biased. My favorite stand is Green Day. It's partly because of the band, but also I love the power
I
system.
mean, that's a cool stand.
I
I
love
love
it.
that stand,
It's
yeah.
kind of similar to Fugo's in a way, but I actually
Yes.
like that it's not as overpowered as Fugo's because you have to be like
Mm,
if you're below Chocolata and Green Day, then you'll perish
mm-hmm.
if you fall from like an altitude or
Yeah.
something. And like I find that really interesting. It actually makes sense because like I know like I've listened to Green Day's music for, like so long. So like every song that they do, like okay, this song relates to Chocolata and Green Day and the abilities and why it's
Yeah.
like this is like oh
Oh,
okay.
that's
So like I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to that. My favorite localization name is Flaccid Pancake. It's
I mean,
unrivaled.
it's so good. I also love Moody Blues, Moody Jazz, because
Booty
that one is
Jazz,
just
yeah,
like I'm a huge fan of Moody Blues, like the Moody Blues as like a band and like so it's just really funny because I'm like Moody Jazz. I don't know why. That one just
hell yeah.
it just
And
is funny to me.
Rice Pirate did a really good job. Mr. Mick Lauer, Rice Pirate himself. Hell yeah, it's like a
I
Bapia. He
know.
did so good.
Ugh, so good.
I just kind of realized that our boots are so similar. It kind of sounds. It looks like we're like one,
We're in the
like up,
same,
in the same room. It's like opposite.
yeah,
It's so
we're
interesting.
we're in the same universe.
Hell yeah. Also, did you is your door clear? I was gonna ask. Like,
Yeah. It's
I
like see-through, which you
yeah,
can like, which is nice.
hell yeah. I ended up putting foam on the door because I'm really finicky. um, but like I do like this natural sunlight. I do miss it. But
Yeah, it's
if
honestly really nice.
if the LED light runs out, I'm taking off the foam and letting the light do its thing.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes it's kind of scary though, because I'll look out and then there'll be like a cat looking at me. And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
and I'm
terrible.
like,
That's terrifying.
I'm sorry. Or like my mom will be like knocking on it and I can't hear her. And I'm like, oh, hi.
Oh my god, it's more terrifying for my parents because they can't actually see me, so like they just gotta
Yeah.
because I'm just
They're
going
like, you're gone. You're
absolutely
gone in the
feral
wilderness.
in here, and yeah, it's and like oh my god, I feel for them sometimes, but I get it, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, my next question to you is and I might already know your answer here, but are there any what are your dream projects that you would like to voice in at some point? Or
Yeah. Oh
eventually,
my gosh.
manifesting. This
I'm
is a completely
manifesting this.
this is a
Yes.
manifesting station, right?
Manifesting. Um, nothing is official. Like, don't take my, I would love to voice in Genshin Impact.
Hell yeah,
I have been like quite obsessed with the game since I started playing it. And it is like, oh my gosh, I love the game so much and I'm a huge fan of it. So I think it would be really cool to be in it
hell
because
yeah.
I play it all the time. So I'd love the voice in Genshin. I mean, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure would be awesome.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, that would be awesome. I would love to be in like Digital Circus. I really like Digital
Oh
Circus.
yes,
That one's really fun. So
hell yeah,
you never know. You never know. But there's honestly like Pokemon would be cool. I mean, childhood full circle moment.
hell
There's
yeah,
so many things. Like honestly, anything that will take me that like is good.
hell yeah. You should do. I'm not sure if you've done Brook Chama's class yet. But he's the race for Genshin, so surely get in there, and then
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
Because like so many people I know are like, I voice this character or like I voice an NPC, and I'm like, I want to be Genshin too, guys. You guys are so good. And I'll hear them and I'll be like, I know that voice. I know
Hell
that
yeah.
voice. It's so cool to see like other people as well because like I'm just so happy for people when they get to announce things. I'm like, oh, they're in they're in a game I like or they're in a thing and I'm like, that's so cool. Like I just
Hell
get
yeah,
so
man.
excited.
I
So
yeah.
honestly, anything that cool people are in or that I really like, sure.
Hell yeah, man. I there's because I know Genshin's actually near the point of finishing soonish.
Yeah.
So,
It's
hopefully
they
hopefully
got
get
like
in
a
there.
couple. I mean, they have like tons of characters.
Yeah.
So I mean, anything is
It's
possible.
possible, but
Um,
we'll see.
we'll
Um
see. Knocking on wood. But
yeah.
they have because I know the new region is coming out, and then they have a couple other regions
Yeah.
until it finishes,
Yeah,
which
so
is
hoping,
scary. It's
that's
scary because it's like getting to the final like it's getting a little scary out here. We don't know what's going to happen to our favorite characters, so I'm
that's
scared.
fair enough. I don't know much about the Genshin lore, but
Oh,
hopefully
there's a
everyone
lot. There's a lot.
oh, I know there's a lot. Hopefully everyone survives or as many
I
people do survive. I don't
I
know.
hope so. I'm nervous. I have my theories, but you never know.
Yeah, I gotta ask, what is the Genshin impact? What's why is it so impactful and what is the Genshin?
Oh my gosh. So, it's like actually it's like confusing. The Genshin like itself is like is like something that has my sister tried to explain it to me and I still really don't really know. And it's like some kind of like it has to do with the visions or something that they get and the
Oh,
powers, but I forget like the exact because there's so much to keep up with that like that was kind of one that slipped my mind. So if
that's
someone's like
fair
a
enough.
super fan and they're mad at me, I'm sorry. But
There's so many Genshin fans in
it's
the community.
impactful. It definitely is
It sure
impactful.
is impactful.
I think it's like something like with the higher powers like in the like Celestia or something.
I see.
Something
Okay.
they have so much lore that it's kind of crazy.
I thought Genshin was like an engine or something because it sounds like engine. So like maybe it's a
Yeah,
secret
they
engine.
have like multiple. I know the Hoyoverse has like multiple impacts, like for their
Ah,
game titles. So I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe
that's
that's just
true. That's
maybe
actually
they
kind
just
of
like that name.
maybe they do, but like there's other Hoyo games like Stario and Zenless Zero
Yeah,
that came out recently. So
yeah.
if we don't get the Genshin, there's always
You
Stario,
know,
there's always ZZZ and
I
Stario.
know that would be awesome. I mean, honestly, any
Anything's
game
possible.
by them is so cool.
Their
So
games are so pretty. Like honestly,
I
I
know.
would love
I
to, but we'll see.
I know. You never know, but I always say like, everything happens for a reason and it will happen when it needs to.
Absolutely. The roles will come.
So,
The right
mhm.
role will come for you. And if it doesn't,
Yes,
carry on.
exactly. Yep, and you never know. You never know because the universe works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I gotta ask, because you mentioned you're being a big fan of Frozen, and you mentioned that you played Anna in like one of your school
Yeah,
plays.
yeah.
Like, what was like that feeling like? Because Frozen had like such a huge impact on you. So like,
I
it's
see what you did there.
segues. I'm really
Um,
good at them.
yeah. No, I it was a huge moment because I actually auditioned at like another theater company and then I didn't get it, which was like really, it was hard because they like gave it to an older girl, which like they legally weren't supposed to because it's Frozen Junior, so it's only a certain amount of
Oh,
age ranges. It's a whole like complicated thing, but they like changed it and like made added songs which you're not supposed to do.
oh,
Um,
they added songs and changed songs in Frozen.
yeah, they like added songs from like the Broadway show that weren't in the original script for this version
Oh, there's a
of it.
Broadway version of Frozen. I did not know that.
Yes. And so that was like they were sketchy, but they're yeah, that's a whole other thing. But
Okay, okay.
they I auditioned for this theater company I knew nothing about, like literally never met anyone there. And I they actually called me back in the room for to sing for Elsa. And I was like, oh my God. no. Like, one,
No.
cannot sing Let It Go for the life of me. So do not, like, I don't have that like
You
range.
mean like the capability or like the song itself? Like I can't do it. Like that's I don't like hearing that song
It's
all the time.
no,
It's
it's just like actually really hard to sing. So I'm
it
like, and I
is,
just
yeah.
don't really have a good voice for it, which is like, it depends on like your voice type and everything.
I
And
guess so, yeah.
I was so nervous. And like thankfully they didn't end up giving me Elsa, but I obviously didn't know anyone there. And I met one of my best friends ever who was playing Elsa. And we like ever since have been like super close, and that like really changed my life because I was actually gonna quit theater.
Damn.
That Yeah, it was a hard time, and it happened, the show was February 2020, so right before lockdown. So
Ooh.
that was the last show I did before anything like came back up and the world was getting, somewhat sane again.
Yeah.
Normal-ish.
Ish.
But ish kind of, we're still recovering,
Yeah.
but you will see. Um, but it was crazy. Like I remember like specifically like when I sing First Time in Forever because that's my first entrance because they have like young Anna and like a medium Anna and then like I come in.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
You didn't do the Do You Want to Build a Snowman then? That was someone
no,
else.
yeah. So that was like the little girls too, so it was so cute.
Oh,
But I it was like it was really like a Disney moment. Like I was like in the dress and I was on stage and like I could see like the whole audience and I just like something in me I was like, "Oh my gosh. Like this is what I wanted for so long." Like and I made my dream a reality somehow. Like I literally was like a Disney princess.
hell yeah.
And so it was really cool. And to this day, I'm still like super proud of myself because I was like, I mean, that was a crazy time to be in the world. And so especially like we just missed the COVID like
Damn, and the
the
timing was
mark.
just right, you
I
know?
know. So thankfully that happened.
Especially
But
because like you were
I
considering
yeah.
like quitting theater at the time, and like this kind of brought you
Yeah.
back. You know, like that's
Yeah.
insane.
It was insane. Like I for so long, like especially around that age, like 15 and a little bit like into 16, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore because like I just had so many bad experiences with like crazy directors
Mm.
and like and just I was bullied a lot. Like I was
Oh
really
damn,
bullied and
I'm sorry to hear
and
that,
it
man.
was yeah, I mean honestly I'm stronger now and I'm
Hell
really,
yeah.
honestly sometimes a little bit thankful for it because it makes me love myself more, which is like weird to say, but like I I became confident on my own and like I didn't have to, you know, like I worked for it and I really like, where my life is heading and like how I feel about myself and everything right now, which is great because
Hell yeah.
I think it really did make me stronger. But I was considering, like, I don't know how to make this a career. I don't know how to do it. And I was like losing passion. And it was one of the things that brought me back because I was like, wait, like, this is like a sign. And then I kind of went through a phase like during COVID because everything was shut down of like, what do I what do I do? Like I can't do shows right now and I just kind of got back into it and then actually was in a role I was in the musical Tuck Everlasting,
Mm.
which is based off of the children's book, and I was the little girl Winnie. And that was like a huge dream role of mine because it's set in a fictional town in New Hampshire and I'm from New Hampshire and
Hell
that's
yeah.
awesome. And it was a huge like I love that musical so much and they had to postpone it for 2 years.
Ooh.
And I was like, one, I thought like, oh, it's not going to even happen. And then 2 years comes around and it did actually happen, which was
Nice.
awesome. But during that, I was like, I don't know, like it was really hard. But eventually, like, I found voice acting in between. And then I was like, oh. And now I think like the rest is history. I'm just like, I've gained not only like confidence by doing, this, but also like in myself. Like it's really nice to I had something to grow with, which is cool.
Hell yeah. That's amazing to hear, man. Your journey has
Yeah.
been really inspiring to hear so far.
Oh, thank you.
I say so far, that assumes that it will stop being inspiring, but no, I mean because we haven't lived out the future yet.
Yeah, no, and I really am like really young, and I always have to remind myself like it's okay. Like
Yeah,
I'm
for real.
19 and I am very like proactive when it comes to like my career. Like I was literally like on the floor of my bedroom auditioning for roles. Like I was grinding
Hell yeah,
and
man. When
and
I also started when I was 16, but
yeah,
I was on the bin underneath the blankets, you know.
yes, yeah. No, and it was like and like my parents literally switched rooms with me. They gave me their room because the ceilings in my old room is like too because the studio bricks is like so tall.
Yeah.
So
Oh, my
they
parents would never do such a thing.
my
That's
parents were
amazing.
amazing and they did that for me because they were like, you know what, we want you to do this because like
Hell yeah.
they saw that
That's really honorable of them. It's really sweet.
I was really like, I was in that competition and then like um actually like Tara Strong was like a guest on it.
Oh yeah.
Like and she was like, you're really good and da 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 da, and you are made for voiceover. And like 16-year-old me was like, Tara Strong, that's Twilight Sparkle. That's like, oh my God. But
That's
so they
Ben
were
10.
like,
That's Timmy Turner.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was crazy because I was like, I grew up with you. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and it was really cool to, especially for so many people like encouraging me so young. And I think that's why I really like pushed hard for, you know, having, what I have now. And my parents are very supportive and my sister, she's an animator, so
Oh really?
she
Wow.
yeah, so they're very supportive of her too. She's like killing it. It's very exciting because our goal is to like work hand in hand together one day. Like
That's awesome. I reckon
yeah.
I reckon that'll happen at some point.
I mean, like, you never know. And I really hope so because she's genuinely one of the most talented people I've ever met. And I say that not even like as a sister, but just from like an outsider point of view. Like she's so great.
That's
And
awesome, man.
and I'm so excited to see what like she does because my parents have also been super supportive of her. Like they got her like a professional like drawing pad thingy. I don't
Yeah.
know, it's super big, but it's like, stuff that the professionals use that I don't know about because I'm not an animator. But it's insane. Like they would like save up for it and they got it for her. And
That's so
it,
nice. Your parents are
it's
so
like
cool, man.
my parents are the best.
The
Like they
coolest.
they are the coolest because they always say like, oh, we didn't go for like our dreams. Like my dad was a theater kid and my dad like did theater and he always wanted to be, an actor and like he wanted to do like screenwriting and write movies and everything. And he just never went for it. And he now to this day is like shifting into, okay, maybe I can like start to do what I love. And he, he and my mom were always like, you know what? Like we didn't have like X, Y, and Z when we were little. So let's give it all to our kids. And I
Aw.
think it's so sweet because they really are the reason like why I am like where I am. And like even though they don't know anything about the industry and don't know anything, they just trust me, which is really cool
That's awesome.
because we don't have any connections to anyone. We're like from New Hampshire. Like where is that? Like
Yeah.
people don't even know where that is. And which is crazy because like all of the things I've done have been on my own, which is insane. Like
So cool.
I really am really lucky. But you never know.
Mark my words, man. You're gonna pop off. I
Oh,
like
thank you.
we come back to this interview like what 2 3 years later or something, and I'll be like timestamp it right here.
Yeah. No,
But
you are I I genuinely feel that like you as well. Like, like I get such a good vibe from you.
oh,
Like,
thank you, appreciate that.
and I'm so excited to see where so many people go in their careers and like it's so
Oh,
exciting. Like
thank you.
I'm just like I'm manifesting everyone, even if you're watching this and if you're not a voice actor, but like you want to do something cool or you want to whatever you want. Like I'm manifesting it to come true because you
Hell yeah.
like, like I'm very I think I think things will happen and I think,
Yeah, it's all a matter of time. You can't predict this at all, you know.
yeah. And you've
But
got
yeah.
such a great voice and like personality that
Oh,
like
thank you. Stop it. Oh my god.
yeah. No, I'm so weird. I love complimenting people.
Oh, thank you. I'm either really good or really bad at receiving compliments. So, but like I do genuinely appreciate them. So thank you so much for
Yeah. No, I'm always so like, oh my God, me? Really? But no, yeah, I totally get it though.
that. I was like, "Are you okay? Is this a prank? What's going on?"
Is this a prank, bro? Is
Like, where's
this
okay,
like,
okay, where's the cameras, guys? Come
yeah, where is like, is this what would you do?
on. Oh my
And
god.
that's where the imposter syndrome comes in.
Oh
And,
yeah.
yeah, but just so you know, you're doing great, even when you don't feel like you are.
Hell yeah.
You're still,
Everyone's
you're doing the
everyone
best you can?
Yeah, because I will admit, like like this year, I ended up like at the start of the year at least, because I finished uni, came moved back home. I was really bitter, sad, and angry. And that wasn't really great. Like I can laugh about it now because like, oh
Yeah,
my god, it was so cringe. But
yeah. But
like
it's hard. It's hard.
it's hard. So like, don't burn yourselves out. Like, because I almost did, and
Yes.
that made me more
Mm-hmm.
angry and frustrated, and I lashed out at people and
Mm-hmm.
lost friends. So like, it happens, So don't.
Yeah.
It's like it shit happens. So like, don't like take it from me. Do not be bitter. Do not be jealous. Try not to. You
Mm-hmm.
can feel what you feel, right? But like
Yep.
don't beat yourself up. Like just give yourself
Yeah.
the grace that you deserve and you need. You know.
Exactly. Like one of my favorite things ever was it actually was one of like the big things that made me start voice acting was I asked a question on this like virtual panel because of COVID of like to the Miraculous Ladybug cast.
Oh, nice.
And I like randomly joined. I was like, I'll see this, whatever. Like, like, let's see. And I asked a question on like, how do you become a voice actor? And they answered it out of like 3 questions, which was like a ton of people were on there. So it was like, what are the odds?
Hell yeah.
But Mila Lee, who is the voice of Tiki, she said this quote and I quote this to like the back of my hand. I love it so much. And she said like what makes you special and what makes you unique is what makes you stand out in like auditions and everything. And then she said, you can't cash a check if you don't sign it. And
Ooh.
I thought that like I immediately like the next day I bought a microphone. Like I was like, that was like the moment. I came into my sister's room crying. Like I was just crying and she looked at me because I was at the time thinking of being a teacher because that
Oh.
was like the easiest thing for me to do. And that's I was very passionate about it, but I came in her room and she goes, Beth, I've never seen you like light up over anything like this before. Like you forget being a teacher, you have to do this. Like, and that coming from her, like she's very much like she'll tell you how it is. She'll
Oh
tell
yeah.
you like, yeah. And I was like, wait a damn minute. She's right. And I mean, like the rest is history, but I think it's so true. Like you can't cash a check without your name on it because like that's you and that's your individuality. And I think, you know, what will happen and beating yourself up just isn't gonna help you in the long run because
Yeah.
you're not
You're
you're
hurting
not
yourself.
those other people. You're not those other people, and you'll never be. You're
Yeah.
unique,
Exactly.
and and honestly, that works to your advantage because nobody else sounds or looks exactly like you, and that's special. And I think that's one of my biggest things. Like people ask me all the time, like, like they'll ask me on TikTok, like, oh, like I don't have a good voice for voiceover. And I I always say, like, you do.
Mm,
Everyone has a voice for voiceover. Everybody has the ability to do this because you all have something unique inside of you. And I think that that to me is really like changed my life. Like I went out and I was like, you know what? After, being bullied for some time, I was like, I started like wearing the clothes I wanted. I started like being myself again.
yeah,
And I swear to God, like it is so important to just know, like, you know what? Just do what you love and know that out there is like a role or there is like a thing for you and you'll find it
yeah,
because that's just it's just like a puzzle piece. You got to fit it into your life and you'll find it. But
yeah. You might
it
as
may be
well,
like,
yeah, you might as well
yeah.
try than not try at all. You know?
And so I'm like, I always think like, you know what? I'm going to stop beating myself up. I am
Yeah.
not those people. And also, congrats to them if they get a role or congrats if they get something because I want someone to be happy for me. So let's be
Hell
happy
yeah.
for them, you
Hell
know?
yeah. And thankfully, like the community can be very like positive and happy and supportive.
Yeah.
And like I get it's like for me like it's something that I wasn't used to for a while. It was like
Yeah.
wow, people are rooting for me. This is crazy. Wow, thanks guys, I appreciate it.
No, it's once you like start to be like, oh my gosh, wait, they actually like they're genuinely like nice and they're being so kind and like you're like, oh wait, they're being real and they're not like this is not like walking the prank like I what was happening. But like
Exactly.
yeah, it's crazy and there is going to be people out there who, aren't happy, but whatever. You gotta be happy with yourself. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
Everyone has
All that
their own.
matters.
Everyone else has their own form of happiness that they want. So as long as you
Yeah.
keep working towards it, you'll be fine. You'll be okay.
Like honestly, sometimes I'll send out an audition and be like, I did pretty good. Like I'm proud of that. And sometimes I don't even book it. And I'm like, huh, well, I was proud of that audition. So that's all that
Hell yeah,
matters.
exactly. Plus, like the way I see it is like when you audition for a character for that temporary moment, you are that character,
Hmm.
and if you book it,
Yeah.
that's like a little extra cherry on
Yeah.
top, But like, because the auditioning is like the hardest part of the job, it
Yes,
genuinely
it is
is.
the job, basically. Like
Yeah,
I always say, I said this yesterday to like a family friend, and she's like, "So like what do you do?" And I'm like, "I basically just audition." Like
yeah, for real.
like that's all I do. Like and it's so fun. I love it. A lot of people sometimes dread it, and then I honestly like to tap into different characters and explore them for like even if it's like a minute. It's still really cool. But it's really like it gets like crazy after a while. You're like audition, audition, audition.
And
But
like, I don't know if you can.
yeah.
I think you can maybe relate to this with the Studio Bricks booth, and like, it actually kind of makes me want to go more feral, if that makes sense. I can
Yes,
just
no.
I don't care about if anyone else hears me. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care.
No,
I
that
just
was a
want to.
huge thing for me because like especially like this being my childhood home, I'm like there's other people living here and like I scream a lot. So like I am very glad because now I used to be like so trying to like be quiet and hide it because like it's hard and I
Oh
used to
man.
like yeah. I used to sing in my room when I was little, like, but like I was really loud at doing it and I wasn't really self-aware, but I thought I was being secretive. I wasn't. I wasn't. Everyone could hear me. But it, I was so like embarrassed by it. Like if my parents would like open the door or something and I'd be like I would literally like go on the floor and melt. But now it's like I have the freedom to just like be as weird and as loud as I can. And
Hell
it's
yeah, man.
so nice. It's so nice. So
I had to like wait for people to finish showering and all that stuff. And
yeah.
it's
Oh
like,
my gosh. I still sometimes have to because like there's like the wall right in front of me is like near the bathroom. So
Ah,
sometimes
I
I'll wait.
see. I see.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll wait for the toilet. But other than that, like even
Yeah.
with my air conditioning on, you can like barely
It's
even hear
it is
it.
so quiet. I'm so glad the AC is so quiet.
I know.
But like
It is
it's
so
I don't have it on right now because it's winter here.
yeah.
But because I know it's summer over there. But so like
Yes.
turn that shit on,
Yes.
man.
Oh yeah, I'm blasting it. I'm blasting it. It's
Gotta
winter over
blast.
there. Well, that's Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, yeah.
That must be nice because it is like 90 degrees here, and
It's not that nice. I'm literally recovering from a cold just now.
oh
it's
no.
it's all good.
Well, you're
But
gonna have a speedy recovery.
thank you, man. I feel like I'm recovering a little already. I'm still a bit just got the sniffles. It's okay. But
Those are the
yes,
worst though.
it's not the worst. But speaking of something that's not the worst, I love your TikToks. Oh my god.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I told you I'm really good at segues. But
You are. You
no,
shock
thank
me.
you. No, I appreciate it. But no, I love your TikToks, man. Like that's how I actually ended up finding you. Um,
Oh,
like it's so weird. I just saw your TikTok. I was like, oh, you're cool. You're epic. Let's go. Let's talk more. This is cool.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was kind of crazy because like no one ever intends to like gain a following or like go viral. And like I did for like a couple of like theater videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's happening? And then like one of them like got like over a million views. And I was
Woo.
like, how many people are watching me? Like it was I was in Shrek the musical and I was like the gingerbread man.
Oh, you were
And it's like,
Gingy? Hell yeah.
yeah. So I was like everyone was like, do you know the Muffin Man girl? And like and so like people at my school would talk about it. And I was like, what is happening? But it was super cool. And like ever since I've kind of been like content creation has been really exciting for me because it's something like I just do for fun. Like I do it for fun and I also just want to make little videos that I like. And the fact that people like them is really cool. Like
Hell yeah.
it's
I'm still.
awesome.
When are we doing the TikTok collab? When's that happen?
We got to. We got to.
We have
We will
the same booth. We gotta do it. It'll be
I
seamless.
mean, yeah, it will be seamless. No one will know.
Exactly. I mean, I'll have to get the exact same flowers in the background, but
Yeah, no, I'll take them down. I'll take them down so you
ooh,
can
true.
yeah. hmm
Oh,
And
you
then
know what?
I'll put like a black whatever on there.
Or I'll take all of it off and
Yeah,
I'll cover it up or
perfect.
something, or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know. It'll be
we
perfect.
just like it'll be like the heist of the century. No one will know.
Fair enough. But yeah. My last question to you, Biff, is because you've been at this for 3 years, but you have a solid background in acting for a while. So, do you have like a piece of advice that you like to give to people who are like either starting out in their journeys or people who are currently in their journeys right now?
Yeah. For me, I think it's just be kind is like the best thing I can say is
Yeah.
be kind to yourself, to other people, to, your body and to your journey because it's different from everyone else's. And it's not going to be just, oh, if I do this, then I'm going to get there. It's different for everyone. And it's crazy, but just be kind to yourself and definitely be kind to other people.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
because you don't want to end up being a jerk. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
And honestly, just embrace yourself because that's that's all you got. Like you got your voice and you got whatever you're working with is what you have to bring to the table. So
Hell yeah.
just bring that and honestly just go for it because it's crazy and so many people want to start. And if you're thinking of starting or if you are like getting near to the point where you're like, maybe I will do it because you will make so many friends, you will have so many good experiences, and just, you know, be kind to everyone you meet along the way, even if they might be jerks. Just,
Be civil. Yeah.
ignore them, walk away. You don't need them. You're
Exactly.
better than that. So, that
Yeah.
honestly, that's my advice, just to
Yeah.
be kind.
And if you are a jerk, be sure to catch yourself and change.
Yes.
Hopefully,
hmm
you know.
Hopefully, if I mean, I doubt there's any jerks watching this because they're all cool.
I would hope so, right? But I don't know, man. I, I
You don't
I
know.
I mean, I used to be a bit of a jerk and not too long ago, but I think I'm not that person anymore. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
hey, character development.
character development. Like 2024 is the healing art. 2025 is gonna be
Oh
the pump up
yeah.
season,
Let's
man.
go. Let's go. Yeah. You
Oh
know
my
what?
god, yeah, for real, man. But
You're gonna pop off. You're gonna pop
you're
off.
gonna pump off. Thank you. But yeah, this with that, this interview comes to a close. Biff, thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming on. You've been an amazing and lovely guest.
Thank
Um,
you so much for having me.
no worries, man. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit, but are there any like
Oh,
voice actors you would like to personally see on the Overvoice hot seat next?
ooh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know. I have so many I have so many people that are so good. There's so many people.
It's
Oh
all good.
no.
It's all good. You can send me a list afterwards. It's all good. No
I'll
pressure.
send you a list. I will send you a list.
All good. But yeah, Beth, where can people find you on social media and stuff?
Yeah, so you can find me at It's Beth Pierce on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter or X, whatever you call it. My website it's bethpierce.com. And yeah, I'm pretty much the same on every platform, which is nice. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
check me out.
Hell yeah, we'll put all that in the description. Biff, thank you again for coming on. You've been absolutely lovely, and
Oh, thank you.
thank you. And we'll see you guys for the next interview. Bye, everybody.
Bye.